Professor visiting in IIT Dharwad, coming from a long distance from Karnataka, as the present here as the chief guest of the inaugural session. We have with us guest of honor, Professor Seema Singh, Vice Chancellor, Uttar Pradesh Rajshri Tandon Open University, Prayagraj. The President of the inaugural session, Professor Anjali Majpayee, Dean, Faculty of Education, BHU, Principal, Basanta College for Women, Professor Alka Singh, Professor Sujata Saha, Head, Department of Education, Dr. Sai Singh, the convener of this 2 days national seminar. The senior faculties, scholars, academicians, participants coming from different parts of India, my dear colleagues and students. On behalf of Basanta College for Women and Krishnamurti Foundation India and the Department of Education, and Dr. Shreya Pathak, Assistant Professor in the Department of History, welcomes you all in this 2-day national seminar on empowerment of rural citizens through Digital India program, prospects and challenges, sponsored by Indian Council of Social Sciences Research. Making rural India a part of nation's development. Of course, it's really a tough road to walk. But it's only with the rural development that we can move a way ahead, we can move forward towards building a strong, developed nation. And this empowerment is incomplete without engaging the rural population effectively with the digital programs. Discussing different aspects of this issue is the major object of this seminar. But before getting into the intellectual discourses, I would like to request the faculties and the students of the music department for the Vasant Geet. Jagat Janhide. The Vasant Geet of our college, composed after its founder, Dr. N.E. Besant. I thank all the faculties and the students of the Department of Music, Vocal and Instrumental both, Dr. Goswami, Dr. Sanjay Verma, and Dr. Hanuman Prasad Gupta. Thank you so much. Professor Alka Singh, Principal, Basanta College for Women, has a long experience of more than 25 years in academics. She is associated with the Department of English and has innumerable publications in various national, international reputed research journals. Ma'am has an administrative experience of more than 8 years as a principal of reputed higher education institution. I request ma'am to kindly deliver the welcome address for all the guests and the participants of this 2-day national seminar.
It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this prestigious 2-day national seminar, which is sponsored by Icssr and Dr. Jay Singh from the Department of Education has worked hard to enable this to happen. In particular, it gives me great joy that we are beginning our academic session 23-24 with a program like this, which has immense value, and I think the students along with the fraternity understand the very cause of holding this conference. It's slightly become a problem because our admissions are delayed. Otherwise, all our students would have benefited out of this conference. On behalf of the entire fraternity of Vasanta College for Women, Krishnamurthy Foundation, India, in particular, the Department of Education, along with the ICT cell of the college, to welcome our very honorable guests on the dais and off the dais this morning. Sir, Professor Pradeep Yami sir, I am so grateful that you have taken this tedious journey right from Karnataka to be here with us this morning, and I am sure that your talk will enable us to initiate many concepts which are in the pipeline for the college. So, a very warm welcome to you. And I feel particularly joyful with the presence of two leading stalwarts of the Department of Education, Faculty of Education, Banaras Hindu University, our very own. I don't know how to treat them as really guests because they are part of the family and they have stood by us through thick and thin. I have never had problems or hesitation in making a call to both of them whenever required. Professor Seema Singh, the Vice Chancellor as of now in Allahabad, is a part of the family, our parent university. Madam, on behalf of all of us here, a very warm welcome to her, and along with her, Professor Anjali Vajpayee, the Dean, Faculty of Education, and a friend and a mentor, as they both stand before me here. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us, and I know that both of you are very busy, particularly at this time, but the college and the department remains indebted for this kind gesture of yours. Thank you so much for being with us. And I would like to congratulate and give my best wishes to the Department of Education, the ICT cell, and the passion of Dr. Jai Singh, who has been working towards various programs along with his team to bring about this digital awareness even prior to COVID, and then after COVID, of course, we all know that it has become an essential part of our education system. Especially, as Dr. Shreya Pathak mentioned rightly, that digital empowerment from rural areas is a must to enable all of us to be a part of the mainstream line of an education in India, which we are very proud of. Because we all understand that the education system of our country stands out in many ways when we compare it with others. So on this note, those of the dais, particularly Madam, who is also a professor in the field of architecture, as I just learned. Madam, a very warm welcome to you, and all my guests who are there in the audience. Thank you so much for being with us to enable us to initiate an academic session with such a wonderful conference. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving ahead in the proceedings of the inaugural session, I would now like to request some of our senior faculties for the felicitation of our guest. I request our principal, Professor Alka Singh, and Professor Sanjeev Kumar from the Department of English for the felicitation of our chairperson, Emeritus Professor Pradeep Yamniyawasar. Professor Alka Singh and Professor Sanjeev Kumar from the Department of English. I now request Professor Ranjana Seth, the senior most faculty of our college in the Department of Economics, for the felicitation of the guest of honor of the inaugural session, Professor Seema Singh, coming from Prayagraj, Vice Chancellor of Uttar Pradesh Rashmi Tandon Open University. Professor Ranjana Seth. A big round of applause for all our guests. I now request Professor Sujata Saha, Head Department of Education in Basanta College for Women, for the felicitation of the President of today's inaugural session, Professor Anjali Pachpui, Dean, Faculty of Education in Banaras Hindu University. We welcome you, ma'am, in this today's seminar. Thank you so much, ma'am. I now request Professor Meenakshi Biswal from the Department of Education, Vasanta College for Women, for the felicitation of our principal, Professor Icssr. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll now like to request Dr. Yogita Bedi from the Department of Economics. I would like to invite Dr. Yogita Bedi from the Department of Economics for the felicitation of Dr. Professor Sujata Saha, Head Department of Education. Thank you so much. I would now like to request all the dignitaries present on the dais for the release of the souvenir of this 2 days national seminar. A big round of applause. The release of the souvenir of 2-day national seminar on empowerment of rural citizens through Digital India program, prospects and challenges. Thank you so much. Dr. Jai Singh, the convener of the program of this 2 days national seminar, is Associate Professor in the Department of Education. Sir has an experience of 14-15 years in teaching and research with varied research interest areas. He has number of publications in different research journals and presentations in various national and international seminars. I request Dr. Jai Singh to introduce with the theme of the seminar.
Thank you, ma'am. I am here to further introducing the topic of this Icssr sponsored seminar. And the title of this is Empowerment of Rural Citizens through Digital India Program, Prospects and Challenges. According to the Census 2011, about 70% of the Indians live in rural areas. The Digital India program, launched by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, on 1st July 2015, which has opened the door for new progression in every sector of the rural areas. The government wants to remodel India into a knowledgeable economy and digitally empowered society with good governance for citizens. The Digital India program's objective are to connect the rural areas with high-speed internet network and improve the digital literacy. The vision of the Digital India program is inclusive growth in electronic services, products, manufacturing, job opportunities, etc. Despite several past initiatives taken by the government at all levels, central, state and local, there is still a lot to do to empower the rural citizens. The villages are still behind in terms of the internet and digitalization. According to the report on the internet in India, based on the Icssr 2021 study, only 351 million users that is 37% of the village population are using the internet. The interior regions of the country are lag behind in the availability of the high-speed internet. They either have very little or mostly do not have any electronic network. The Digital India program is designed to ensure that the government services are accessible to the poor and downtrodden people of the society through electronic means. It will speed up the rendering of the services and improve the quality of citizen life. A major component of the Digital India campaign is to deliver government services and other essential services digitally. All ministries are digitally linked under this scheme, and all the departments are able to reach out to the people with fundamental services like healthcare, banking, education, scholarships, gas cylinders, water and electricity bills, and judicial services. Full participation of the people of India in governance and utilizing the facilities depend on the digital literacy, which require basic knowledge and skills in operating electronic gadgets. School certificates and voter ID cards will be provided online. Various services such as digital lockers, e-education, pensions, ration card, PAN card, Aadhaar card, e-insurance, e-health, e-mandi, e-banking, e-government, e-sign and national scholarship portals have been made accessible to the rural citizens. Digital locker facility is helping citizens to digitally store their important documents like PAN cards, passport, mark sheets and degree certificates. SPM mobile app has been popular among the people and government organizations for achieving the goal of the Swachh Bharat mission. The e-hospital, hospital management information system application provides the important services to the patients who require medical help such as online registration, payment of fee and doctor's appointments, online diagnostic reports, inquiring availability of the blood online, etc. The National Scholarship Portal is one-stop solution for the end-to-end scholarship process. Agri-Market App was created to make the agricultural prices known to the farmers and discourage them from selling their agricultural products too soon. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme ensures the welfare and nurturing of the girl child and makes sure that every girl child attends school. Bharat Interface for Money theme makes payment quickly, easily and simply through the unified payment interface. Crop Insurance mobile app is useful in calculating crop insurance premiums depending on the numerous characteristics such as area or loan amount is a loan is taken out. Due to the Digital India campaign, healthcare services are more accessible to the rural areas. E-Pathshala, developed by the National Council of Educational Research and Training NCERT, is useful in accessing all the educational resources such as books, videos available online. EPFO, web portal and mobile app are useful for workers to check the amount of their provident funds. Startup India portal is a Government of India program to encourage the entrepreneurs to develop business startup in the country. Besides improvement in the digital infrastructure, the issue of cyber security has been a major concern in achieving the goal of the Digital India campaign. Due to the lack of cyber security awareness, rural people get victimized by the cyber attacks like phishing, man-in-the-middle attacks, denial of the services attacks, SQL injections, zero-day exploits, and malware attacks is the lack of the awareness about these issues. According to the Computer Emergency Response Team, cyber attacks have been increased in India by almost 300% in the year 2020. People in the rural part of the country are using Bhim, RuPay, Paytm, etc. The welfare schemes from the government that require online approval and authentication as well as the direct money transfer are being targeted. The most targeted schemes are economic pension schemes like the Atal Pension Yojana, Varisht Pension Bima Yojana, LPG subsidies like PM Ujjwala Yojana, food public distribution systems, ration shops, all benefits under the National Food Security Act, healthcare and golden card used in Ayushman Bharat Yojana. A large percentage of the population due to the limited literacy was not a part of the digital system and was therefore under the threats of cyber crimes. In this context, an attempt has been made to organize a national seminar on the theme Empowerment of the Rural Citizen through Digital India program, Prospects and Challenges. To understand the Digital India as a campaign where technologies and connectivity unite to empower the rural citizen. The objective of organizing the Icssr sponsored seminar is to understand the impact of the Digital India program on the health, education, business and job opportunities for rural people. The seminar will provide an opportunity for an important and in-depth discussion on the issue of cyber security and its preventive measures. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the theme presentation. Today we have with us, as chairperson of this inaugural session, Professor Pradeep Yammiyaur, sir. Sir has completed his doctoral studies from Indian Institute of Science. He is Professor Emeritus from IIT Guwahati and Indian Institute of Science, working in interdisciplinary programs related to creative design, innovation and technology for over 39-40 years. Sir has established India's pioneering human-computer interaction design research activity and usability engineering lab in 2003-04 at IIT Guwahati. He initiated UX, UE, UI interaction design and user experience specialization stream within IIT Guwahati's Bachelor of Design program. In 2003-04, it was India's first UG program in design, which played a significant role in the success of the department, resulted in it being known worldwide for its graduate designers. He initiated India's first formal PhD program in design at IIT Guwahati in 2004-05. Sir is founder member of Indian Institute of Science, Masters in Design program at CPDM, which is currently rated amongst the best design research centers in Asia and 7th in the world. He served as principal research scientist in Indian Institute of Science, pioneered and initiated new creative design education programs in the country at Indian Institute of Science, IIT Guwahati and many other private institutions. He is also empaneled as scientific advisor to the Office of Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. He is consultant to IT and creative design industries, advisor to creative design disciplines in educational sector. He is former Dean of Outreach Education Programs, former head of the Center of Educational Technology and head of the Department of Design. He served as professor of IPR cell and QIP cell, all at IIT Guwahati. He has a teaching experience of around 40 years in the field of project design and innovation and mentor of many successful enterprises and startups. He has been honored for his contribution various National Award for Teaching Innovation by MHRD Government of India in 2016 for her leadership contribution, and also founder member of many of the important and prominent institutions. A recipient of Visiting Scientist Fellowship from Swiss Development Corporation and has also served as a visiting faculty in Norway, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand and Denmark. This is not the end of the introduction. He is also additionally trained as psychologist with qualification in mental health and psychotherapy and life associate member of Indian Association of Clinical Psychology. Currently, Sir is serving as professor visiting in IIT Dharwad. He has a very impressive, long and enriched introduction, and I think it's yet not over. I've taken so long introduction, but it's still not done. I request Professor Pradeep Yamiyawa sir to kindly deliver his address. We are very fortunate to have such an enriched resource person, such a resourceful academician with us in this seminar. Professor Pradeep Yamiyawa sir.
सुप्रभात और सबको नमस्कार। सभा मंच पे बैठे हुए माननीय इस सम्मेलन की प्रतिभागियों, प्राध्यापकों और विद्यार्थियों, मेरा सदार प्रणाम। हिंदी मेरी मातृभाषा नहीं है, लेकिन मेरी मातृभूमि भारत की राष्ट्रीय भाषा है। आप सबके अनुमति से मैं अंग्रेजी में 2 शब्द इस उद्घाटन समारोह के में बोलना चाहता हूँ, ऑडियो विजुअल मीडियम से। Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we are speaking of digital technology and we have to adjust ourselves so much. But it's nice. Being here removes all these small pains. It's such a beautiful campus. The moment we enter, we are full of peace. I will present very quickly years of experience in this digital so it's a little slow. So we are speaking of a flagship program of the Government of India, and this is a vision to transform India into a digitally empowered society. Actually, it's a very, very ambitious program, and no other country in the world has tried it before. Not at this scale and not at this complexity as what this government has done. And they have leaped forward by decades what India would have taken almost half a century. Sorry, it is. Yeah, I'm sorry, not adjusted to the requirements. So I will prompt my good student here, who she will put it forward. Okay. So can you see me? So what actually this thing does is it knits together a huge number of ideas and thoughts into a single centered area. So there are three broad areas about this that is already mentioned by Dr. Jason. Governance and services on demand. The second one is digital empowerment, and the third one is common services and centers. So all this is being attempted to be delivered all across India by what is called as village level entrepreneurs. The government wants to serve 2.5 lakh village entrepreneurs. The question here is, what can educational institutions do to support this vast human resource development that the government is doing? What is our role in it? Next. These are some of the real impacts on the ground. Number of villages, the universal phone connection, there is publicly available internet, Wi-Fi. All these are real impact. And of course, there are many jobs that have been created. And the most important thing that has come out of this experiment is the e-governance and e-services across the government itself. The government departments were not functioning together coordinatingly, and this program has indirectly forced that and done it. So this was mentioned by Dr. Jaising also, Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. It's socially a very nice mission, but in the background what it is doing is it's collecting huge amount of data that did not exist before in India about health, and without data nobody can do any planning. DigiLocker, yes, all of us will be using this DigiLocker. With this DigiLocker, tons and tons of paper photocopy signature will disappear very soon. And these are the other advantages that we have. Everybody knows about Aadhaar, and of course currently it is the UPI that is happening. My good friend Nandan Nilekani, we both went to college together. He just explained that very recently in the 20 summit that happened, more than 8 or 10 countries were interested in transferring this technology. I'm talking about the benefits of this entire digital program. So on the ground, there has been a positive techno-commercial impact. If you ask the question, the answer is yes. Resounding yes. We have been very successful, and there has not been any program in the world that is there. The question arises is, what about socio-cultural impact? That is what the question we as academics have to look at. Now when we speak about this impact, I also saw the number of papers that are going to be presented in this seminar in the next 2 days. Many of them speak about the digital divide. This digital divide is always there in our mind. As recently as now, Supreme Court has observed that digital divide caused by online classes due to COVID actually will defeat the fundamental right of every child to education. It means it has both the things, positive things, and what is this digital divide? Basically, it's a discrepancy between those who have skills, knowledge, and abilities and those who don't have. Now, where does this digital divide exist? It exists between rural areas and urban areas, between genders, educated and uneducated, and economic classes. Now, here is a posit that I make. In India, it is more of a knowledge divide rather than any other divide. And many of us in the government think that it is a skill and literacy divide. Actually, now it is realizing that it is not anymore a skill and literacy divide. Why? Digital divide actually is directly proportional to knowledge divide. We all as teachers have to do with knowledge dissemination. This digital divide has an impact on the socio-cultural scene in India. These are connected. And if you look at the market, shops in rural areas and shops in urban areas, They are slowly closing the gap. They are a kitchen on the in the rural India is more gadgetized as much as the urban. So these gaps are on the ground are changing. So here is an opportunity for social scientists not only to analyze the cultural impact but also to provide socially viable solutions that offer cultural continuity. See, what is there in is it. So here, many studies have drawn digital divide, especially with respect to rural girls' education. There are many studies. There are studies in the news, and then we have these many papers presented where this experts say that digital divide still a challenge in remote teaching. But we have to understand what exactly it is. When we look at it further, it is heartening to know that rural India's enthusiasm to embrace digital learning for self-development far exceeds the urban learners who are driven more by competition and consumption. There are clear two different aims and motivations of the urban. So how does one bridge this digital divide? Actually, I don't like to call this as digital divide. Basically, it's a chasm. So what is this? Jumping this chasm. How do we do it? Obviously, the answer is empowering the youth. And the usual strategy of digital literacy comes up. Urban-centric education, will it apply to rural India? The answer is now probably no. We know it. So, there was an experiment conducted in 1999 by Professor Sugata Mitra. What he did was he put a computer onto a wall and just allowed it. Some children around in Bombay came, and within 6 months it became a big class. And who taught them? Nobody. They themselves taught each other. They didn't know computers. So this experiment is quoted very famously. So our contention is this hypothesis holds true for adults in rural India also. Therefore, we need not spend money on digital literacy training. Now, techno-commercial use will take care of this digital illiteracy as what we call. Actually, it's a wrong term we are using. There is no digital illiteracy. Digital illiteracy is not the core problem in India. You see, in India, digital literacy happens through what we call as contagion. And techno-commercial takes care of the digital literacy. Why? Because this is a self-organizing social system. India is a self-organizing social system, unlike many other cultural systems. So here is probably a video. Can you press the chance? If you hover on the video, yeah. Hover on the video, you will see below. Can you use the mouse? Hover on the video? No. Okay. Yeah. I think it's not possible. Why? Yeah. No. Yeah. One more. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was not prepared for this. I am India. Myself, I apologize. It's my mistake. So now, can you push one more? Go ahead. Okay. See, actually, the video I wanted to show you was very, very interesting experiment. Absolutely untrained, unknown monkeys were given a mobile. You can see in the video, they were exactly doing the interaction like human beings. In the video, you can see them scrolling up and down, selecting what they want and see. It's a mind-boggling observation by somebody by mistake who went and gave this mobile to the monkeys. So actually, this digital literacy or how to use and operate gadgets is inbuilt in us. We need not, it goes by contagion. One studies and learns, as also proved by the Saugata experiment. So now, one way to reduce this chasm is to make the people behind digital work, creating content, who are to be more sensitive to rural understanding, to rural areas, and try and imbibe their culture. Here is a fact that changes the entire what we know about digital India. 70 crores are active internet users, you'll be surprised to know that more than 60% of the 70 crores come from rural India and not urban India. This is very, very surprising to all the policymakers also. And if you look at what is this chasm that we are speaking of, take for example money. The value and understanding of money in rural India is very different from the value of understanding of what actually money as a concept is in urban India, right? So it leads to saying that more number of crimes are happening on internet, cyber security, from urban India rather than rural India. Here the question comes is, how do we narrow the difference? If we narrow the difference by using the urban model on the rural model, we will be spoiling the entire population's approach to digital use and digital understanding. Please. Please go ahead. So, as teachers and institutions, what we can do to make India as dream come true? We have to narrow the social digital chasm. How do we do it? Yeah. As teachers, we could possibly formulate new multidisciplinary courses and programs to train students. And here is where I'll show, only for lack of time, I have many case studies, but I'll show one or two case studies of how we tried this experiment in IIT Guwahati, and we were quite successful in training and teaching technical engineering graduates who are actually called designers. How to become very sensitive to the other half, and how do we actually solve problems. And this was awarded also by the government of India with an award, this particular curriculum. So this is about the program which was tried out at IIT Guwahati, and the term user experience, user interface, user interaction today is used everywhere. You must have heard about it. It has created a huge number of jobs, and it has given India a march over same software development that India already had. And where do these people get their experience? For the world, they get it from India and rural India. So this is the connection that I wanted to just point out. So here in this program curriculum, we looked at social dimensions, science dimensions, technology dimensions, and philosophical dimensions. No more specializations. Even in IITs, we are now slowly moving away from specializations. We are saying that branch-wise is no use. Many of our students don't like to get into the branch that they have got out of the ranking system there. So we are now wanting to teach them general engineering for India. It's a big challenge for us. But similarly in social sciences, you will have to also perhaps move. So I'll show you one or two case studies that I have. And here is one of them. So we know about this personal hygiene problem in connection to emotional strength. I saw a number of papers also in mental health and other issues in your seminar. So here, what we did, the experiment was, how do we use the digital medium in rural India to actually make use of it to teach. One teach the other. These are very sensitive subjects. No medical doctor, no nurse, nobody can even talk about it so easily across India. So we designed and developed a game based on the Indian snake and ladder system, and we provided an incentive in the game. If an adolescent girl goes and plays it with another adolescent girl, they get digital points which they get internet time free of charge. And the game itself had in it knowledge, like what is taboo, what is not taboo, what the mother says may or may not be true, what your friend says, what is true. And initial results showed us that they learned much more freely exchanging between them rather than any other system would have taught them what it is. So this is one of the experiments that were done successfully. See, another experiment we did was about our crafts people. In India, crafts and arts are dying, and their base is rural India. Many families who have traditions of this have stopped. They don't send their children, they don't train them in that anymore. They want them to go to IITs, they want Well, we were looking at this problem in a different way. We said, how do we now bring back the job? So we digitized Indian dresses by using technology and made one dress speak to the other. So one Banarasi sari will meet the other Banarasi sari on the street and talk to each other on the mobile. I am from this store. I was bought 200 or 150 years back. Where did you buy this sari? This sari seems to be from this family and tradition. So it becomes, it becomes two totally, in urban India brings women closer, discussing their saris, which is a very natural thing to happen. And we were trying this, and one of our fashion design graduates who shifted to technology, learned technology and did it because